Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. I remain your host Joseph. In today's video, we'll be looking at how to create a flyer design for a creative hangout using Photoshop. So this event actually took place a few months back. I'll be walking you through on the processes involved in creating this design from scratch. Okay, so please, if you're actually new to the channel, do well to smash the subscribe button. If you have not done that, smash the subscribe button and turn on the post notification bell to get notification whenever I upload new content on the channel. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you guys for always watching. But without further ado, let's dive into this video. So we'll have to create a Canva workspace on which we'll be designing on. I'll click on the new file and the new document panel actually comes up. Over here on the new document panel, we'll be setting our unit of measurement in pixels. We'll be creating a design that can be used across social media platforms. Okay, so for that, I'll be setting my width on 1080 and my height on 1350. The resolution can be set on 300. Color mode remains on RGB, and you can call this design ref. Okay, leave other settings the way they are and hit on the create button. So over here we have the Canva workspace on which we'll be designing on, and the first thing I would like to do here is to drag in all the source files I'll be using in creating this design. So the first phase of this design composition has to do with creating of the background, okay, and the event here has to do with creative. Okay, you have to have a feel of playful nature in it. Okay, so and I intend to use a dark background while creating this design. Okay, so here I have this image here. Okay, I got it from Google to be precise. So I hit Ctrl T to actually transform it, holding Alt, left click to scale out and fit into your canvas. Okay, so afterwards, the next thing I would like to do here is to apply the hues and saturation to this. Okay, so the keyboard shortcut to that is Ctrl U on the keyboard. It enables you to apply the hues adjustment to that particular layer. Okay, so over here I would like to turn down the saturation, okay, down, and reduce the lightness this way as well. So after I'm done with this, I'd like to hit on the OK button. Okay, that is in terms of that. Create a solid fill adjustment. Okay, and I would like to use this full black color here, and afterwards I would like to click on the OK button for that, or choose a lighter value like this and click on the OK button. So moving on, I would like to change the blending mode so that we can have a little feel of the texture. Okay, I need to have that feel of the texture on the background. Okay, so moving on, also I would like to reduce the opacity of this image to around something like this. Should be enough. Okay, and afterwards I'd like to enable this layer here. So I'll select the layer over here, hit Ctrl T, okay, holding shift, left click and rotate this way. Okay, holding Alt this time around, scale out from the middle and make sure it is actually fitted into your canvas. Okay, so moving on, the next thing you have to do here is to double click on the layer of this image here. So I'll double click on it and the layer styles will basically come up, and over here on the layer style I would like to move this slider this way. Okay, notice it actually disappears. I'll hold Alt, left click to break the sliders. Okay, for this I would like to take this to around this. Okay, I'm trying to take this into the midtone regions. These are the shadow regions. Here are the highlights, and the middle parts are called the midtone. So I like to create that smooth transition of this texture into the background. Okay, so afterwards, and I have to move this slow and steady. Okay, afterwards I can go ahead to zoom in properly, Ctrl plus, to make sure that this is blending properly. Okay, I think around this is okay, and you can click on the OK button afterwards. So I can hit Ctrl 0 to fit to screen, Ctrl plus to balance the zooming. Okay, so afterwards I would like to create a new layer by hitting Ctrl Shift N on the keyboard and call this new layer noise. Okay, change the blending option to soft light. Okay, enable the 50% gray option and click on the OK button. So after you're done with that, the next thing you can do is to right click and convert the layer to a smart object. Okay, after you're done converting that to a smart object, you can head over to your filter all the way to noise and add noise. Okay, over here make sure uniform is checked and monochromatic is checked. So you can add this, but this is more of an eyeballing situation, so you add this to a good minimum in such a way that it won't be that obvious on your design. So you click on the OK button. That is in terms of me creating the background. So moving on, I would like to take this over here, enable it, okay, and hit Ctrl T to transform it. You can scale this down and rotate it. Okay, you can basically take it up this way and rotate the angle to an angle that you see fit for your project, and basically leave it to something like this. Okay, that is in terms of that. So I'm trying to create that playful feel here. In another video I'll be explaining to you how I was able to create this. I created this using an image I got online, so I only have to vectorize the image. So in another video I'll be walking you through on how to do that. So I'll scale this down this way, okay, and take it to around somewhere here like this. Scale it down, okay, rotate the angle and make sure it is well fitted into the background like this. Okay, I can still rotate it, scale it up a little. Okay, so for this I can still select the layer, scale it up properly and place it around somewhere like this. Okay, that is in terms of this. I can select this layer, hold Alt, left click and drag to create a duplicate. Okay, Ctrl T, right click and flip it horizontally. That is in terms of that. So I can rotate the angle like this and make sure this is properly aligned. Okay, so I can set it this way. Okay, if it's not actually going well for me like this, I can choose to invert the direction like this. Okay, and have it appear this way on my design. Okay, so I can have it to appear this way on the design. That is in terms of creating of the background. Okay, so I've find a way to create that playful feel on this background. So moving on, you can select this layer here, left click on it, holding shift, left click on this layer over here, hit Ctrl G to group. Ctrl G enables you to group your layers. So I would like to double click on the group 1 name and rename it as BG, which stands for the background. This is one of the best way to actually organize your layers. Okay, so the next phase has to do with placing of the design, other design elements such as text and shapes. Okay, so for this I would like to place in the theme of the event. So I'll pick the text tool. Okay, so after picking the text tool, I'll type in the theme of the event, which is called Design Rave. Okay, head over to your character panel, adjust the tracking, change the font to a font that has that feel of playful nature. So I'll be using this. Okay, Rising Range, that's the name of the font. So I can choose to give it a a bright fill to create that contrast with my background. Hit Ctrl T, scale it out. Okay, Ctrl A, pick the move tool and align this to the middle. Ctrl D to deselect, Ctrl T to transform, and you can take this up this way, and you can still choose to scale this down like this. Okay, that is in terms of this. So the next thing I would like to do here is to place other text. So I pick the text tool as well. Okay, and call this, okay, call this Grace Hub. Gray Hub is the name of the text. So afterwards, I would like to change its font to, so I would like to change the name of the font to this font over here. Okay, and I would like to enable the flux and bold to make it actually stand out and actually visible in terms of size. Okay, you can scale it up and place it around somewhere here like this. That is in terms of that. Okay, so I might choose to select the rectangle tool here. The keyboard shortcut is U on the keyboard, and create a rectangle of something like this. The property panel actually comes up. Over here on the property panel, you can create a curved edge for this, okay, by setting this around something like this and change its fill color. Okay, I would like to use a fill color of, let me double click on this and change its fill color. For this, I would like to change its fill color to this particular hex code FB3D46 is the actual hex code for the color, and click on the OK button for that. Okay, that's the hex code for the color. Okay, so the next thing I like to do here is to pick my move tool and take this to around somewhere here like this. Okay, increase the amount of curve. Okay, pick the text tool, left click and type out this text. Okay, Hangout. Okay, that is in terms of that. So I would like to also change the font for this text to another font called Urbanist Black. Okay, that is the style I'm using for this text. So scale this down by hitting Ctrl T. Okay, take it over here. Okay, so you hold Ctrl on the keyboard, make sure your mouse pointer is pointing to the rectangle. One icon over here, your mouse pointer changes to a hand icon. Left click to make a selection. Make sure this is still selected, the Hangout text layer is selected. Pick your move tool and align horizontally and vertically into the shape. Ctrl D to deselect afterwards. Okay, so you can select both layers and group them. Okay, so I'll call this Hangout. Okay, that is in terms of that. Okay, so moving on, the next thing I would like to do is to add a color to the theme of the event. Okay, I would like to change the colors on the theme of the event. Okay, so for the theme of the event here, I would like to double click on this. Okay, the layer styles actually comes up. Over here on the layer style, I'll work on the color overlay, and over here on the color overlay, rather gradient fill rather. So over here on the gradient fill, this should be set as follows. You can set your angle to around -5 to in particular. Okay, you can do that this way, and afterwards you can leave this on linear. Okay, head over to where you have this gradient, left click on it. So over here we'd like to set up our gradient as follows. Okay, so please take note that your gradient is actually made up of 3 regions. Okay, you can set one side to be your highlights, the middle part can be your midtones, and the other end can be your shadows. Okay, so for this end here, I would like to change its fill color to a value of yellow, which is EFC235. Okay, that's the hex code. For the shadow region, I also like to change its fill color for that as well to a value of pink. Okay, for that I will select and change the fill color to A20C78. okay, and for my midtones, I can select here to be my midtones. Okay, so for my midtone here, I can set the here to be with the hex code of a fill of orange, which should be D97728. okay, and click on the OK button. So you can click on OK like this, and you can see this is how this is looking like so far on this text. So you can leave other settings the way they are and click on the OK button. Okay, that is in terms of that. So you have your theme looking this way. So the next part we'll be looking at, okay, let me scale down the Hangout text. Is too visible, so I like to scale it down like this. Okay, so for this I would like to also make place other information, okay, before adding more depth of playful objects around. So I would like to place in other line of text. So I would like to place in other line of text by left clicking over here and pasting this line of text over here. Okay, I would like to adjust the leading, that is the space between the text, align the text to the left hand side, adjust the leadings as well, change the font for this to Bebas, that's the name of the font. Okay, you can adjust the tracking, that is the space between the text like this. Okay, or you can set it on 0 to be precise. Hit Ctrl T and scale up the size so that the text can be seen. Okay, so scale this down properly like this, and we are good to go. So you can adjust your tracking, your leadings. Okay, and over here I would like to select the rectangle tool and create a rectangle of around this dimension. Okay, and I also like to sample the color from the colors I have over here. So for this, I'll double click over here with my color picker. I'll sample color over here and click on the OK button for that. Okay, so I would like to place in the text with the caption called activities. Okay, so I'll place in the activity text here and change this back to Bebas to maintain consistency in terms of the order of things. Okay, so for this I'll scale it up. Okay, and click on the check. This should be directly above the rectangle layer so that it can be visible. So I'll hold Ctrl, left click to make a selection, pick the move tool and align horizontally and vertically into the shape. Ctrl D to deselect, Ctrl T to transform. I can scale this down like this and we are good to go. Okay, so afterwards the next thing I would like to do here is to basically trim out these edges like this. Okay, so all I have to do here is to pick my lasso tool, okay, and take out these edges. Okay, it doesn't have to be smooth. Ctrl D to deselect, Ctrl plus. Okay, use your lasso tool and make a selection. I'm making use of my mouse pad. I'm not using a graphic tablet for this, so I don't need it to be smooth. Need it to have that feel of playful feel. Okay, so I'm trying to play with this way. So I hold Alt, add the vector marks to this, Ctrl I to invert the marks. Okay, you have this basically looking this way. Okay, that is in terms of that. So the next thing I would like to do is to place in a rectangle. Okay, but before doing that, I would like to select this set of layers and group them together, thereby organizing my layer panel. So for this, I've grouped them together. I can call this featuring. Okay, that is like the activities, okay, that has been planned out. So the next thing we will be looking at has to do with placing in images of our guests. So over here, I can do this way. Okay, so for this, I would like to also sample color from what we have. Okay, I'm trying to maintain the use of color on the design all throughout. Moving on, so I'll hold Alt, left click to make a duplicate. Okay, hold Alt, left click to make a duplicate. Hold Alt, left click to make a duplicate like this. Okay, that is in terms of that. So you can come over here, select all 4 layers and group them by hitting Ctrl G on the keyboard. So Ctrl A to highlight the whole canvas. Pick your move to align the group to the middle. Ctrl D to deselect. So here I'll start by placing in images. Okay, so I would like to select all images over here and move them into the group layers. Okay, so I'll enable them, select this, okay, and drag it into the group. Okay, so it is now in the group. So I like to turn them off and start placing them individually. So for this, I'll take this here, hold Alt in between these 2 layers to create a clipping mask. Okay, Ctrl T to transform, scale it down and make sure it is well positioned and the face of your subject should be in focus. Okay, should be in focus this way. Okay, and there should be a head gap, okay, in terms of this. So the same technique will be applied to other images over here. So I'll move up by placing in my text. So I'll place in the names of each of the guests. So for that, I'll come over here, left click and paste it in here. Reduce the space between the text like this and create contrast in your text. Okay, so when I'm talking about creating contrast, like to return the tracking to 0. Okay, when I'm talking about creating contrast, I would like to create emphasis on the name of the guest. Okay, why this can be reduced in terms of style to maybe regular or medium italics. Okay, this is one of the ways you can actually play with scale or creating contrast in your design. Okay, making emphasis different elements, making them to stand out from each other. Okay, that is in terms of that. So I can change the alignment for this text by selecting the text to the left hand instead of the middle. So I can scale this down like this and place this directly to the middle of this. Okay, Ctrl 0 to fit to screen. You have this actually looking like this. So the same techniques will be applied to every other guest we'll be having here. So I'll be speeding up the process, moving on from here. So afterward, I would like to rename the group folder for the various guests to guests, to be precise. Okay, so that is in terms of that. So the next thing I would like to do is to place in the date and time of the event. So I pick the text tool, left click and paste in the text over here. Okay, for this I'll change the font to Bebas. Okay, and moving on, I also like to highlight the first line of text and change the fill color to the same value of yellow. Okay, click on the check, turn off your tracking and set it to 0. Okay, adjust your leading, that is the space between the text this way. Okay, Ctrl plus, Ctrl T to transform and scale up this like this. Okay, so I like to scale up the size of the date so that it can be very visible and legible to the eyes. And afterwards, I'll click on the check, pick the text tool, select this line of text and scale down the size. I need this to be directly beneath this in terms of size like this. So reduce this way, that is in terms of that. So moving on, I would like to pick a rectangle tool and create a very slim rectangle of this dimension like this. Okay, and give it a feel of white so that it can be seen properly. Okay, adjust its position, and moving on, we'd like to place in the time for the event. So I'll hold out, left click and drag this directly beneath this way. Okay, and I would like to place in the time of the event, which is 11 a.m. Okay, prompt, and I would like to select this and change its fill to white. Okay, this is one of the ways you create contrast and at the same time create emphasis in your design. So I like to take out this line of text, check, and also reduce this text, the size of the text, to something like this. Okay, that is in terms of this. So you can select the layers and group them together. Okay, you can call this date and time. Okay, it all depends on you. So you can choose to scale it up or reduce the size, or it is all left to you, okay, to decide what you intend to do. Okay, so you can still choose to scale down the size and take this a little bit up this way. So create a rectangle to place in the QR code to actually sign up for the event. So for the QR, I have it over here. I'll change the fill color of the shape to white. Okay, and I'll hold Ctrl left click to make a selection of the shape. Select the QR layer, pick a move to align it horizontally and vertically into the shape. Ctrl D to deselect, Ctrl T to transform, hold Alt, left click and drag to scale out from the middle like this. Okay, so you'll be having this looking this way. Okay, that is in terms of that. You can still scale down the size of your rectangle if you intend to do so. So you can select both layers and group them and position them that way. Okay, that is in terms of that. So for this, I can take it and place it around here like this. So I would like to select this line of text here. Okay, and basically place it here. Okay, that is in terms of this. Align it to the left and adjust the space between the text on the vertical axis to around something like this. Okay, Ctrl T, scale this down, and you can choose to place in this text over here side by side as this. Okay, and you can move forward by placing in the actual link, the URL you generated. Okay, for that, so you can come over here, left click, paste it in here, scale it down. You're still maintaining the same font called Urbanist, and place this directly beneath this way. Okay, make sure it is well aligned. Okay, so in the final phase of this design, we'll be looking at making a duplicate of this. So I hold Alt, left click to make a duplicate of this. Okay, afterwards I'll drag it outside the group. Okay, that is in terms of that. take this text over here like this and group them together. So I'll hit Ctrl G to group this and call this the theme, Ctrl 0 to fit to screen. So here is my theme. I can call this theme of the event. Okay, so for this I can select this all the way to here like this to actually group and call this URL, or I can call this invitation. Okay, so I like to take this outside the group and make sure I have the right information in that group. Okay, so I'll take this into this group to make sure that my group are properly arranged. So for this I can call this the QR code for the event. So, and moving on, I would like to also place in the contact details using this. Okay, so for this I'd like to come over here, left click and paste it in here. Okay, that is in terms of that. And I would like to scale up the size of this, likewise its width like this. Okay, so hold Alt, make a duplicate of this and change its fill color to, I think I'll get the color from the footer. So I'll get the color from this like this, and we are good to go. Okay, so turn off the footer and place this here. Take it directly above the group, the layer. Okay, and make the text very legible in terms of size. So I would also like to change this to bold under the style and change the alignment of the text to a left aligned structure. Okay, that is in terms of this. So the next we'll have to do has to do with the contact, that is the address. So I would like to make a duplicate of this by holding Ctrl and Alt, or hitting Ctrl J rather, can actually help you to make a duplicate, so you can transform and take it to where you want to actually position it and paste in your text. Align this to the left hand side and you are also good to go. So that is in terms of that. So you can rather increase the size of the two rectangles. Okay, select them, hold Shift and scale them out like this. Okay, so for this I'll make sure that this is properly aligned, okay, into the shape. Okay, so change this to bold as well to make sure, and return this spacing to 0. Okay, similar technique is also applied here. Return this to 0 and make sure this is properly aligned as well into the shape. Okay, so I can select both layers and group them. Okay, and I can call this escape. So I can call this contact to be precise. So I can delete this. So the last thing we have here has to do with the footer. So I'll select the footer, hit Ctrl T, scale it down and take it and position it to around somewhere here like this. I can still scale it down further more. Okay, and make sure it's aligned horizontally to the middle. For your contact, you can take it up, select the contact layer and take it up this way. For the dates, all the way to the QR. Okay, Ctrl 0 to make sure this is properly selected. I can choose to move this up or still scale it down if it's too big. Okay, that is in terms of that. So for the contacts, I can take it off this way. Okay, why I can head over here, select a rectangle tool, select the rectangle tool and create a rectangle of around something like this. Okay, and change its fill color to white. Okay, so that this information can be seen. And over here on your property, you can add the curve to this. Okay, that is in terms of that. So you can align this to the middle of this. Pick your move to align it horizontally and vertically into the shape, and you are good to go. You can still head over to your property panel and add a little adjustment in terms of the curve. Ctrl 0, Ctrl plus. Okay, so that is in terms of that. I can still choose to move forward by playing with some other elements such as this. So I would like to scale it down and position it to around somewhere here like this. I'm trying to create that feel of play over here, and I can double click on this. We'll have the color overlay and change its fill color by sampling the actual colors over here and work with it all through your design. So I can hold out, left click, drag, Ctrl T, right click and flip it horizontally, and you can have this looking this way. Okay, and I can still move forward to change its fill color to similar colors we have on the design, and we are good to go. Okay, that is in terms of that. So I can increase the playful nature of this design by picking my pen tool. Okay, picking your pen tool and make sure this is set on shape, not on path. Okay, select the white for example. I may choose to left click over here, left click this way, and create and connect it to where I actually started. Ctrl Enter, Ctrl D to deselect. You can have this looking this way, or you can still skew it. Okay, having it looking this way. Pick your pen tool and come over here, create something like this, and connect it over here. Okay, change its fill color to this as well. Ctrl Enter. Okay, you can still choose to scale it down so that it won't take attention. Okay, you can also make a duplicate of this and take it to around somewhere here, scale it down furthermore. Okay, pick your move to adjust it and change its fill color to this, and we are good to go as well. So you can keep on doing that and see what actually comes out from the design. So doing this, Ctrl T, rotate the angle. Okay, and you can choose to leave it around here and change its color as well. So pick your color and you're good to go. Pick your pen tool to create another texture, another shape over here. Okay, like this. Okay, you can also change the value to around something like this. Okay, Ctrl Enter, Ctrl D, Ctrl T to transform. Okay, pick your move tool. You can basically leave it this way. That is in terms of that. Okay, so you can still choose to enhance the look of your design by moving up, by working on each of your model images or your guest images one after the other to maintain balance all through. So I'll select this and hit Ctrl M on the keyboard to enable the curve, and I'd like to create the S curve fill on this and click on the OK. Okay, that is in terms of that. You can see before and afterwards. Okay, for this the image that has high shadows, I can hit Ctrl M and try to increase the amount of light on this image this way. Okay, likewise the shadow region, trying to play with it so that it won't look so dark. Okay, so please take note that your curves are made up of highlight. These ends are called your highlight, the middle parts are called the midtones, while these ends are called your shadows. So, and you click on the OK button afterwards. Okay, if that is actually okay for you, you can choose to enrich this, Ctrl M, and I think I'd like to add a little feel of shadow to this image. A little feel, creating that S curve for this image as well, which is mine. I'll hit Ctrl M, choose to soften the darkness on the image. Okay, and we are good to go. So Ctrl M for this as well. Can choose to, let me see, so you can choose to play with this gently. It is more of eyeballing situations. Okay, so afterwards you can click on OK. I think this is actually looking nice. So ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of this video. If you do find this video helpful, do well to smash the like button, do well to give it a like, guys. If you're new to the channel and you're yet to subscribe, do well to smash the subscribe button, turn on the post notification bell to get notification whenever I upload new content. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you for always watching. Okay, and please, if you do enjoy this, you can also share with your creative friends around you, and see you in the next.